With the Arizona Cardinals now sitting 6-4 on the 2020 season, there's a lot of people reaching out to me on Instagram, on YouTube, asking me, do I feel like Cliff Kingsbury should be fired by the end of the year? Now, I get Cliff Kingsbury has done some things that are a little questionable, whether you want to say questionable play calling with the multiple different screens, time management's a little questionable sometimes, and sometimes he's challenged some things that kind of doesn't seem like he should have challenged. With all those reasons, is that enough to fire our second-year head coach, Cliff Kingsbury, by the end of the 2020 season? We're going to go ahead and dive into it here shortly, guys. Let's go ahead and roll that intro. Back into another video of the Arizona Sports Fan. Thank you so very much for tuning in, guys. I really do appreciate it. Now in this video, I wanted to talk about none other than Cliff Kingsbury, our head coach, our second-year head coach. Now there's a lot of people that have reached out to me, DMs, Instagram, YouTube, and all that different stuff, asking me if I feel that Cliff Kingsbury should be fired by the end of the year. Now we'll go ahead and dive into it here shortly. Let's just do our quick due diligence. If you're new, please consider subscribing to the AZ Sports Fan on YouTube. We do a lot of great things here. Games, reactions, lives, call-ins, all that different stuff. If you can go and do me a big favor, go ahead and make sure you subscribe to the AZ Sports Fan. We're trying to hit 5,000 subscribers by the end of the season. You're gonna drop a like on the video and go ahead and put that post notification bell on as well, just so you're aware of when we drop the next video. All right, guys, let's go and just jump right into it here. Should Cliff Kingsbury be fired by the end of the season? Right now, the Arizona Cardinals are sitting 6-4 on the 2020 season. Now, there's a group of fans that are excited about this because obviously the last two seasons we have not even hit 6 wins. So honestly, from here on out, this is a good record for the 2020 season. Now, obviously, everybody would love to be, 10-0 right now, but that's not the world that we're living in currently right now. The Arizona Cardinals are a 6-4 team. There's an abundance of people that are already criticizing Cliff Kingsbury and his lack of experience in the NFL role. Now, as of right now, last year we had a terrible record of 5-10-1. This year we have a record of 6-4, which is awesome. But Cliff Kingsbury has a total record as far as being a head coach of 11-14-1 currently right now. Now, the Arizona Cardinals have an opportunity to hit playoffs, and I honestly do feel like it's still attainable to do so. We have 6 games left on the season right now, with the Patriots being our very next opponent. Now, it's really going to depend on what happens during that game to really kind of figure out what we're going to do with Cliff Kingsbury by the end of the year. I honestly do feel like Cliff Kingsbury's, time with the Arizona Cardinals really has to do with what happens in this last 6 games. Now, let's say, for example, we go 1-5. Yes, that might be a call for concern at that point, being that, 2 years is not a lot of time for a head coach to kind of get things done, but we're seeing the same mistakes time and time again with the offense, being that, it takes too long for our offense to get going. Now, whether you want to blame Kyler Murray or Cliff Kingsbury, the truth of the matter here is that most of the blame is going to be put on Cliff Kingsbury, being that, Kyler Murray is our future quarterback of the future, and we're not going to let him go. That's just silly to say that. But also, Cliff Kingsbury, not only does our offense take a while to get started, play calling just in general is really, really questionable. Time management, not the best with usage of timeouts, in my personal opinion. And he's got a couple challenges out there that he's done that really did not make sense, being that we lost a timeout, and it was just not a good challenging call. Now, if we have a terrible downfall of the rest of the season, going like 1-5, 2-4, whatever the situation is, and if we slip playoffs, then I can see the Arizona Cardinals maybe trying to move on to a different head coach, maybe a more veteran, maybe a more established coach within the NFL. I could definitely see something like that happen for the Arizona Cardinals. But in my personal opinion, I would not want to move on from Cliff Kingsbury just yet. I feel like if we went 0-6, then it's definitely a call for concern. If we go 3-3, that would put us at 9-7 on the season, which is not bad, and that's an opportunity to go into the playoffs at that point. Another positive for Cliff Kingsbury is the fact that his air raid type offense that he's bringing into the NFL is working. Kingsbury's offense is generating the yards and the points and able to move the ball down the field. I really feel like we should do with Cliff Kingsbury is I feel like we should give him one more year as a third-year head coach, but get him a veteran offensive coordinator that's able to help him throughout the the game management and stuff like that. Whether it's taking away his play calling ability and letting somebody else take the reins, that honestly might be something that we can do for the future, because I think right now with Cliff Kingsbury, his main issue is that there's just so much going on within the NFL level, and he's the final say with a lot of different stuff. Now, I feel like the defense is always solely put on Vance Joseph, with the very minimal things of those 1 or 2 points that he likes to bring in to kind of help influence what Vance Joseph does on the defense. But for the most part, the defensive part of it all has to do with Vance Joseph. The offense and everything that comes around with it, timeouts, should they take the 3 points, should they go on fourth down, all that different stuff is put on Cliff Kingsbury, and I think it might be a little too much for him to handle, especially because he doesn't have that NFL experience within him already. So I personally think that we can get him an offensive coordinator that's willing and that's able to take a lot of those duties, or at least some of the duties, away from Cliff Kingsbury, so he's able to focus on the things that he's able to focus on. And I think that's the biggest key that we need to do right here within the Arizona Cardinals. A lot of times when I look at this team, yes, we're 6-4. I honestly think I'm really happy with the record. I'm not gonna lie to you, but we could have easily been a 5-5 team or a 4-6 team. There's some games that really came down to the wire, whether it's the overtime or whether it's the Hail Murray that happened during the Buffalo's game. So this year could have really been bad, but thankfully it went in our favor, and we're 6-4 currently right now. So the Arizona Cardinals really have an opportunity to do something this year, but it just really depends if Cliff Kingsbury can get us into the promised land and give us an opportunity to, to get that Lombardi trophy that everybody's seeking out this 2020 season. One of the main reasons why I made this video is obviously because, I run a YouTube channel and I also have an Instagram. Multiple different times during games, I'm getting a lot of people saying we should fire Cliff Kingsbury, but I don't think that's the right approach for this Arizona Cardinals, young team moving forward. I think we have a good thing within Cliff Kingsbury. Yes, he needs to fix some things, but granted, this is his second year. I honestly think an addition with a veteran offensive coordinator is going to help him dramatically, not being that everything is put on his shoulders come game time. Now, I know that there's a lot of frustrations within the players as well, whether you want to say Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins, some items even say Larry Fitzgerald. But the truth of the matter is, once we give help to Cliff Kingsbury, I think we will be better, and we'll see what happens. I mean, the sky's the limit once we hit the playoffs. I strongly do feel like we can hit playoffs. I'm about 80% to 85%, kind of confident that we can get to that level. But honestly, it really depends on what happens these next 6 games. We need to at least go 4-2 or 3-3 to maybe even, humor the fact that we can get into the playoffs. So let me know what you guys think here on the comments below. If you are on the train of firing Cliff Kingsbury, or you want to give him another opportunity, definitely let me know in the comments below, guys. But that's all I got for this episode. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm out. Thank you.